Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm sure you've seen the transfer news already, but Sandro Tonali is set to become Newcastle United's first major transfer of the summer window. Fabrizio Romano has spoken out since, saying that AC Milan and Newcastle have both agreed to the deal. It's just a matter of the medical now, which we will get completed over the next week or so. So I'm here today, in today's video we'll actually go through 7 reasons why this is a huge deal for us. What does this mean for Newcastle United going through the transfer window in regards to our signings? What does this mean for the future of us? There's a good opportunity now just to get through how big of a deal this actually is. Now, before Sandro Tonali has even worn a Newcastle United shirt, has already broken several records. A couple of major ones being that this is the most expensive Italian in football history. 70 million euros you're bringing this kid in for. 23 years old, he has the world at his feet. And this is actually also the most money AC Milan has ever received for a football player. And when you think about this, well, of course, AC Milan is a team that's won 7 Champions Leagues. They've had some of the greatest players that ever kicked the ball play for them. When you think about it, Newcastle United actually gave AC Milan the most money ever for a player. It's just, what times we live in supporting this football team. Gone are the days where we're trying to afford a loan fee for someone. Newcastle are going out there and we are targeting the world's best players. But anyway guys, if you're new around here and you like what you're watching, make sure you get down there, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, enjoy. Make sure you let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. 7 reasons why Sandro Tonali and Newcastle United is a huge deal. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1 being that he joins Newcastle United with a team already full of star-studded players. We've got to think about it, the PFs came in less than 2 years ago. We already have Kieran Trippier, Sven Botman, Alexander Isak and Bruno Guimaraes, not mentioned now Sandro Tonali, and that's not even mentioning the likes of Nick Pope with Dan Burn, who yes might not be mega stars in some people's eyes, but are still pretty good players with a good background coming into the football clubs. And Newcastle have already done all of these deals. Now Sandro Tonali joins the list of those players, and under 2 years Newcastle have spent, I think it's around £250 million in just over 3 transfer windows, not to mention as well that we still got a good couple of months left in this one. We're spending a decent amount of money, but not too much as well. When you guys think about it, Newcastle aren't spending as much as you might think compared to especially the big 6. Newcastle are spending money, yes, but we're not doing it in I guess in a ridiculous way. Newcastle are spending it gradually over time to improving on what we have. We're not doing everything at once, which I think is important. It's a slow burner, it's a long-term plan, and so far Newcastle, despite only being around for about 2 years since the takeover, we have actually got a team full of star-studded players. Staying on the topic of Newcastle's current signings since the takeover, and now Sandro Tonali on top of that, it's a reminder to you guys and everyone watching this video that Newcastle United will target the world's best players. Regardless of how realistic or unrealistic signings may be, Newcastle will go in for these players. They will try their luck. I think Sandro Tonali on paper probably is an unrealistic signing in Newcastle. It was one of them ones where I think if Newcastle wasn't to finish in the top 4, so let's say we finished 5th or 6th, I don't think Tonali would have joined us. So I think it's one where it came at the right time. Tonali's happy with obviously getting paid more than double his current wage at AC Milan. I think that is a big factor as well. But ultimately Newcastle, compared to Milan, obviously Milan's a much bigger club, so to actually convince him to join us is a big one from us. I think it's a case that all the cards came at the right time, and it's a reminder that even though on paper deals may seem unrealistic, Newcastle will try their luck, and sometimes you see that in this case, yeah, they will go in our favour and it's going to benefit us. Reason number 3, as briefly spoken in the last point there, is that Newcastle being in the Champions League now, you've seen it here, we have the pull power, we have the ability to be able to swerve players to join us, despite Newcastle being a team that hasn't won a major honour since 1969. Newcastle can convince players to join based on, well, 1, the wage structure we have, the fact that we have a lot of money, we're able to convince players to join because we offer them a better contract. But 2, being the fact that we are in the Champions League, we have pull power. I think James Maddison's one that's going to keep popping up between Newcastle and Tottenham. Now, on paper, the only thing that is stopping Newcastle from signing Maddison is if Tottenham overpay for him, or if Maddison wants to go to London, which is somewhat possible. But I mean, Newcastle offering the right money, considering the fact we went in for him last summer as well. Newcastle just are in a better position than the likes of Tottenham, so that pull power being in the Champions League, you can convince players to join you, and I think that's another thing that's been proved in this case here. Newcastle have that pull power and it's working in our favour. Reason number 4 it tells you guys that Newcastle will spend more than £75 million in this transfer window. You've seen it on social media, it's been spread around by journalists on the financial fair play. Newcastle will not spend more than 75 million. Well, you spent 60 plus already on Tonali, and that's one player for the door. It's a reminder straight away that not everything you see on social media or not everything journalists are taught by the club is factual. Newcastle are going to spend more than 75 million. I think the club has intentionally swerved the journalists so nobody knows on social media. I think especially in our point of view, it's important as well that our football clubs don't know how much we have to spend. So Newcastle can play their cards close to their chest. We go out there unexpected and we bring some of these players in. This deal is a reminder that Newcastle has a lot of money and we have more than we're willing to share. Speaking of the journalists, reason number 5. I don't want to take a dig at a local journalist, but this deal has came out of nowhere. It's a reminder to everyone watching that even if someone pops up on social media, all of a sudden Newcastle can just swerve people out of nowhere. Not a single local journalist was mentioning Sandro Tonali. The only reason it even came out is because the Italian side of the media caught on it, and then the local journalists started speaking about it, but it actually didn't come from our regular Newcastle United journalists, which I think is a big factor. So even though people are employed and actually paid to go out there and find this information, it still can't take them a while to actually discover it. So Newcastle, you've seen it like last season, all of a sudden out of nowhere a deal can pop up. So even if you guys are looking on social media and not seeing anything going on, there can still be a lot of things going on behind the scenes. So it's a reminder to everyone watching that expect the unexpected at this football club. We're smart, we're strategic, we can go out there and we can get the players we want. We have the time at our disposal and we're able to work with the money we have. Newcastle are a smart team, we don't give much away. So once again, even on social media, if it seems like Newcastle aren't doing much, it couldn't be further from the truth sometimes. So that's a big heads up. Reason number 6, a bit of speculation now, but it could potentially convince our players to join the club. You've seen the links on social media. Even though Newcastle have already went in for Tonali, they're actually interested in Theo Hernandez as well from AC Milan. So for example, in this case, the fact that Tonali plays for us could potentially play into the cards of our signings now. Of course, that's speculation. I don't know the truth behind that. But I think it is important to note somewhat that Newcastle could potentially use the sign of Tonali to actually try and get some of our players to join the football club. And finally, reason number 7 for me, and the big one, is the fact that Newcastle have got this deal done so early. We have all the time in the world where we can actually go out and buy our players. You've seen the likes of James Maddison in the media. There's plenty of our players out there as well. The fact that Newcastle have got a deal this big done this early on the transfer window allows us to have more time to prepare, more time to think about our next target, so we can actually go out there and sign the players that we want to sign. It's a massive move to make, and Newcastle is just the beginning of this transfer window. I said it in a couple of previous videos that I do expect us probably get around 5 to 6 players in. Now that does include loan signings. It's not a case you're going out there and you're buying players for 40, 50, 60 million pounds a pop. It's not that at all. But I think Newcastle are in a situation now where we've got just all the time in the world. We can prepare for our players coming in. That's a big one. That is a big one. I think for Newcastle, it's only just the start. You've seen the last couple of transfer windows, nobody expected the likes of Kieran Trippier joins. I mean, I can't believe Kieran Trippier is our first sign since a takeover. That is such a massive one on paper. And despite Tonali coming in now, I think Newcastle still has a lot more left in it this window. I think we can still go out there, potentially get 1 or 2 more mega signs in before you look at potential squad depth and loanees. So it's for us now to go out there and target our players. We've got this one done. This is a major one we have on our checklist. It's about going out there and continue with the checklist. Who's next? Can we get it done? And the fact that Newcastle got this one done so early is a good thing, and it's a sign of things to come. No longer we've got Mike Ashley or ownership where they're useless. I don't know what's going on. We have smart people, we have good business people as well, not just on the ownership side of things, but also like Dan Ashworth, your chief executive, you've got Darren Eales, you've got Steve Nixon, you've got everyone that works together to get a transfer done, and it's just a flow smoothly. Newcastle was so good at getting deals done, and we'll see what happens next. Eddie Howe has that checklist out. Amanda, Stevie, Murder, everyone will be looking to see who could potentially join the club next. It's for us, the viewers, us the fans, and us the content creators, is to stand here, relax, and just take it all in, because Newcastle, we're only going in one direction, and that's up. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video today to kind of remind you guys of how big of a deal this actually is. There's 7 reasons there why I think Newcastle have got this one not just nailed on, but we've got this one sort of for future signs. I think this is a catalyst for more players coming in. and it's forced us fans to love every second of it. It's just good talking about signs. I can't remember the last time Newcastle, I mean, before the takeover, really had something like this. We just never had it really. Even on Mike Ashley, we had a couple of decent transfer windows, but then it was just more him trying to profit for himself. Newcastle actually having a long-term strategic goal. But here we have everything at our cards, everything at our feet. It's just one of them ones where I'm loving it. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you agree with my thoughts. You take care now, and I will see you all in the next one.